Coming up, the new council chambers are open and host the first committee meetings held at 1 Nicholas Street. Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee recommends almost $3 million be approved to keep a council landfill site safe. Councillors defer re-establishing a Heritage and Monuments Advisory Committee. Still no word on those CBD tenancies. And SPARK Ipswich lights up the city. It's Sunday, July 11, 2021, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging on this last day of NAIDOC Week 2021. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Council's closed Whitwood Road North landfill needs recapping to mitigate any environmental risks that go with managing a closed landfill. Council's Head of Infrastructure and Environment, Sean Madigan, told July's meeting of the Growth and Infrastructure Committee why this capping work is necessary.
There's a former landfill of council that was used and was filled with waste. As part of the remediation of those sites and the management of them, it's ongoing. So it's effectively in perpetuity there's a requirement for council to manage these sites to ensure that there's no environmental harm that occurs. At the decommissioning stage of the landfill, it was capped. However, it is over time, it has eroded away and is required to be capped again to ensure that the environment is protected in that area and to also achieve our legislative compliance in relation to our ongoing sort of maintenance and monitoring of former landfill sites.
Also at July's Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee, councillors voted to defer to a future workshop the re-establishment of a Heritage and Monuments Advisory Committee. The former committee was disbanded at the beginning of the caretaker period prior to the 2020 local government elections. There's not been a meeting since November 2019. Prior to the appointment of an interim administrator in 2018, the committee comprised of 3 elected representatives, including chair and deputy chair, representatives of peak heritage organisations from the local government area, and 1 community representative. Following the appointment of an interim administrator, the committee chair was the Principal Officer of Urban Design and Heritage Conservation, and the deputy chair was the team coordinator of Cultural Heritage. Mayor Teresa Harding proposed deferring any decision until after a workshop with councillors.
This report has a number of recommendations here, and based on the workshops that have happened in the past, I'm actually going to change the recommendations for this council going forward. There's been much discussion as to the membership. There's a lot of interest, I think, so I actually recommend that we move this item to a workshop for councillors to discuss the membership, but also the chairing and the governance arrangements for this particular advisory committee.
Clearly, at least 1 councillor was not happy with the office's recommendations on the membership, structure and governance of the proposed committee. Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee heard that any announcements about new tenancies in the CBD are still on hold. Mayor Teresa Harding.
Mayor Chair, just obviously we recently had a CBD discussion with landholders, and obviously people are wanting to hear who the prospective tenants are, and just highlighted the fact that councillors and council officers will abide by all the commercial and confidence regulations and obligations that we have, and we won't be announcing them until they're locked and loaded. But it's great to see so much interest in the precinct there.
Now 1 Nicholas Street is open, including a new dedicated children's library. Councillor Marnie Doyle took time to acknowledge the move from South Street to the new building.
I guess want to take the opportunity. This is our first Ipswich Central Redevelopment Committee here in our new administration building. So I'd firstly like to start by thanking the CEO and all general managers and staff at council. The move of such a large number of staff to a large new building has been relatively seamless from what I can see, and I know from a technology point of view and the lifts touch wood, there haven't been too many problems. So you must be commended, because that just does not happen without a lot of hard work and planning behind the scenes.
Councillor Doyle also went on to highlight the new children's library.
There has been a lot of, discussion over the last couple of years, commentary around whether or not it was the right decision to dedicate that space to a dedicated children's library, one of the first in Australia. I did hear some feedback in the community that why would a parent want to visit, have to visit two libraries, the main library and then head across to the children's. Well, this week it spoke for itself. It has been an enormous success, and I have had an enormous amount of pride in being a part of this organisation and for the hard work that the staff have done. And probably the aha moment for me was walking by the children's library, and there was a young mother. She had a blanket on the floor and her infant laying on that blanket while she was sitting there reading a book to her toddler. And that is the absolute definition of a dedicated children's library. So I'm just so proud and delighted that we have that open, and it's a great offering in our community, but also a great attraction, I think, for visitors outside to come and spend their money in our beautiful city.
Just a reminder, the SPARK Ipswich Festival continues until July 18. SPARK Ipswich, which is the reimagined Ipswich Festival, is a citywide event celebrating the people, places and the arts and culture in Ipswich. The 2021 program is serving up fresh new festival content, including music, comedy, arts, exhibitions, circus, projection, culture, cabaret and technology. Spark After Dark is a spectacular light-based show centred on St Mary's Church and Riverheart Parklands. Go to ipswichfestivals.com.au for more info. And a reminder, you'll find handy links in the show notes. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is also listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au and click the donate button at the bottom of the page. You can follow this podcast on your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today from your smart speaker. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thanks for listening.